Okay, so you want a delicious restaurant quality vegetarian bean and cheese burrito, but you don't want to leave the house. I got you. And I've got all the tricks that are gonna make it as good as, if not better, than the ones you get in the restaurant. My son adores burritos, so I think I make these about once a week. He's 10, so I don't know when that's gonna end. And I gotta tell you, I figured out a couple of great secrets here. The first secret to making absolutely incredible bean and cheese burritos is to start with homemade beans. This is my homemade brothy beans, and I do these as what I call a favor to my future self. This is when I make a big batch of something and I put it in the freezer, so life for future me is that much easier. Hey, you should totally take my Favours to Your Future Self Masterclass. We'll make brothy beans and a whole ton of other amazing Favours to Your Future Self. Okay, so these beans, I'm gonna heat them up and I'm gonna kind of puree them. So I'm gonna pop this whole bag right into this pot. When I make brothy beans, I add a lot of great vegetables like carrots and onions and celery, but this celery isn't gonna puree up very nicely, so I'm just gonna fish it out and get rid of it. It's done its duty. Thank you, celery. All right, so I'll heat this up. Now you're probably thinking, oh, but that doesn't look like, a kind of nice thick bean puree that I normally have in my bean and cheese burritos. Please wait, that too is coming. As I heat these up, I'm going to add a little bit of extra flavor. There's a ton of flavor in these delicious brothy beans, but I'm gonna add a little bit of smoked paprika and a little bit of cumin. The smoked paprika is my second big secret. It adds this really, really lovely, flavorful smokiness like you get with a smoked sausage, but it's totally vegetarian. It's also really pretty. Take a look. Now a little goes a long way, so I'm just gonna add a little sprinkle, and then I'll add a little bit of cumin as well. So now I just need this to heat up and kind of start to simmer. As that happens, I'm going to start crushing up the beans just with my spoon. But ultimately, I'm going to puree this either with a potato masher or an immersion blender. While that is simmering, let's make the most of our time and prepare the fillings. Cheese for the bean and cheese burrito. You can, of course, use the pre-shredded stuff. But since we're looking to save money here, I think you may as well shred your own. I'm gonna add some sliced tomato as well. This is a little plum tomato, also known as aroma tomato. I like this. This is a silly reason to like it, but it's worth it. It's small enough that I'll be able to layer this into my burrito without getting tomato juices all over the place and making a mess. Is that a big deal for anyone else? So I've got the cheese, some fresh tomatoes, I've got my hot sauce, of course, and now I just need to get my beans ready to spread. I'm going to start crushing my beans. You can use a potato masher for this, or you can use an immersion blender. Oh, I can already smell that amazing smoked paprika. But the idea here is I'm trying to get a really coarse puree from these beautiful brothy beans that are super tender and already really flavorful. So I'm doing two things at once here. I'm crushing the beans and I'm also simmering this mixture so that the liquid evaporates and really concentrates the flavors. If you'd prefer a much smoother bean puree, just use your immersion blender. Check it out. So this is all pureed. And then I'm just gonna keep simmering it until it's kind of a nice thick consistency so that I can spread it into my burritos. That's looking pretty close, actually. Yeah, that's looking actually really good. I find that most pre-made refried beans are super stodgy and thick, and this is just a lot more delicate and has a lot more flavor, and frankly, makes a better burrito. Okay, so once that is all pureed, another secret ingredient, lime juice. So without the lime juice, this bean mixture would taste delicious, but it's kind of like one note, has just richness to it. The lime juice brings that brightness, that balance, which makes, well, certainly makes my tongue say, oh yes please, I'd like another bite of that, and another bite, and another bite too. So a little fresh lime juice, that is secret number 3. Beautiful. All right, now it's time to assemble and cook. So let's assemble a burrito. I really prefer to use the nice thin tortillas. These are not the kind of grocery store sandwich wraps. You actually have to go to the tortilla section and find the nice big tortillas. See how these are nice and flexible? You can fold them and they don't break. It's just a really lovely quality tortilla. So I'm gonna put that down here, and then of course it's time to create my burrito. I'm gonna put the cheese down first. So I'm going to kind of create a little, I don't know, a zone for all the rest of my ingredients. Nice, good quantity of cheese. Then a good couple of dollops of my beautiful bean mixture. And because it's still hot, it's gonna start to melt the cheese, and that's a good thing. I'm gonna sort of speed up the cooking. Nice. Now, you know, hey, don't be me and don't overfill. That is like my number one thing that I do every time. I always overfill my burrito. All right, a couple of slices of tomato. Now you can see how it's so great to use the plum tomato. It's just the perfect size. Of course, you could put salsa in here. You could put your guacamole in here and your sour cream in here, but I prefer to have those on the side. One final thing for me, just a little drizzle of hot sauce. Just a little tiny one. All right, now I'm going to fold and roll and roll this, and then I'm gonna grill it. So I'm going to preheat my big cast iron pan, just about kind of medium to medium low, because I really want that to be quite hot so that I can grill this burrito and it actually kind of holds together. You know what? I think we're gonna do one more sprinkle of cheese. I'm feeling cheesy today. You could also add cilantro or fresh herbs to this. Okay, so now it's rolling time. I'm going to take the bottom of the tortilla and go up and over. Then I'm almost gonna tuck this little piece underneath the filling, almost. There we go, so it's fairly snug. And then I'm gonna fold in the sides. Don't forget, it's like sort of wrapping a present. You wanna tuck that little extra bit. You wanna make sure that gets tucked in. If you don't, it pokes out. But if you do, then it tucks in and it's super fancy looking. Then it's just one big roll over and continue to roll until you got the seam. There's my seam. Keep the seam side down. And I'm gonna put a little bit of oil in the cast iron pan and then grill this baby up. All right, just a little bit of oil just to get that exterior of the burrito a little bit crispy. And then here comes Mr. Burrito. Now to go full restaurant style, take something flat like a lid. This has got a handle on it so I can actually hold it. And you can use that lid and kind of press down. You're not trying to crush this thing. You're just trying to kind of compact it a little bit. And I'll leave it to grill on one side, and then I'll flip it over and give it about another minute. So it's about 2 minutes in total, about a minute aside. Here we go. Let's give that a little flip and sizzle it on the other side too. Oh yeah. All right, this baby is ready for its close-up. I'm going to take that out of the pan. Oh, it looks so good. Look, it's roasty and toasty on both sides. Come on, I'm so excited to eat this. You can't eat it right away. Give it like a minute or two, or it's just gonna burn your face. I mean, we've all been there, burnt burrito face, but it's good to avoid it if at all possible. There it is, the most perfect bean and cheese burrito. Vegetarian, cheap, fast, delicious, healthy, and mine, all mine. You know, if you want the full recipe, it is down in the description below. And you should totally check out my Favours to Your Future Self Masterclass. We make brothy beans as well as so many other fantastic favors to your future self that will make life for future you that much easier and more delicious. But for me, for now, I'm getting right into this beautiful thing. Oh. Guys, life is complicated. Cooking shouldn't be. Burritos shouldn't be. Happy cooking. Hey, and check out these other easy weeknight meals. So good.